Project Vandemic has entered its later stages and things are going well. The bus is running, driving, and stopping. We've been going no further than we were willing to walk home, but with each test drive we confirm past progress, identify next steps, and go just a little bit further. Tig has been riding along most of the time, and I'm pleased to say that Tig loves this bus. He likes going for a ride in a modern vehicle too, but there's something about the organic experience of riding in an old car that connects with his animal spirits. With the windows down, he not only can see his surroundings, but hear and smell them too. Every now and then he'll look over at me and seem to be saying, thanks. He derives purpose from being a part of the action, and so do I. Focusing on outcomes within our control, we choose to work, plan, and prepare, leaving all else to fate. Our ride depends on us just as much as we depend on it. With all senses wide open as our busy heart pushes us further, we know our machine will tell us what it needs if we'll just listen. So we read the signs, we investigate, and we follow through. Today we make good on our promise to take care of issues as they surface. We will not tempt fate by unfairly asking the bus to accept abuse in exchange for a little bit of convenience. In this old forgotten approach, we are responsible for our outcomes. If we succeed, we'll be rewarded with a new experience. And if we fail, well, we'll still have a story to tell. We have entered a new phase of the project where we're going to drive a little bit, work a little bit, drive a little bit, work a little bit, and that is going to be a lot of fun. So today we're going to do a few maintenance items. During these test drives, the throwout bearing has gotten a little bit noisy on some of these test drives. It seems to be worse when it's warmed up, but whatever, it's making noise, it should make no noise. So we're going to pull the engine and replace the throwout bearing. While we have the engine out, we're going to do a handful of other things. I want to go ahead and replace the starter. The starter that's in there has a busted mounting tab on it, and surprisingly it's been working just fine, but I don't want to keep using that. So we're going to put a new starter in as well. I want to replace the seal for the apron and above the firewall tin. It's a little bit more crusty than I previously realized, so that's coming out. Check a few things along the way, maybe adjust the valves and just see what comes up. I've got somewhere that I want to drive tomorrow, so we got to do all of this today. I'm expecting kind of a late night, but that's all right. Let's get to it. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. That's a good time to start, right? All right, let's go. Right away I found something that kind of concerns me. This is a new grommet, but it looks like it's been split. It got cut by the cooling tin itself. I need to replace it obviously, but I'm going to check this metal line to make sure it hasn't been damaged. See, this tin will cut through that eventually, and then fuel pours here, which is the number 3 exhaust stack, and that's a bad deal. I'm going to look into this for sure. I'm encouraged that there's no oil in here, that this is all nice and dry, but a little bit of a problem here. Maybe what the noise I heard was this. A little bit of grinding going on. I don't see any obvious problems with the throwout shaft, but I know those are known to have issues, sometimes breaking up here. So I'm going to spend some time with this. I think I'm going to take the shaft out, inspect stuff, clean it up, lube it. I might zap this with the welder. Let's just kind of give this a once over to make sure that everything is as it should be. Clearly it's not, because we have some grinding here. This was hitting this part. That'll eventually cut through the clip, and then the throwout bearing falls out, and I've got real problems. I think stuff gets destroyed. So I believe this warrants a little bit of attention. Let's see what we can figure out. Has a little bit of lube on the back, no crazy amount of wear, so it looks like it was thoughtfully installed. The arm doesn't look bad either. There's a bushing inside here. This holds it in place, and it's not just going to slide out on its own. So now that I've removed this bolt, that's key, I'm going to see if I can make kind of a spoon sort of a thing to slide in from this side and tap that bushing out. If it still won't come out, it's really frozen stuck, and I'd have to ruin it to get the bushing out, which I don't want to do right now. The intent is still to get this thing back together. Shape the tool just a little bit to be skinnier back here. I think I'll be able to knock it all the way out now. Cool. Didn't destroy anything. I'm pleased with that. Oh no. Okay, so maybe I destroyed something. That's bad. That's really bad. So I think we have a little bit of a project here. This cross shaft lever throwout arm bearing lever shaft thing, pretty sure that's what it's called, has some wear on it. You can see it's gotten pretty thin there from where it holds the bearing, and then that back part is just where the clippy clip goes. I think I could get some more miles out of this thing, but I don't want to put it back in there like that. I have a spare that's in pretty much the same condition. It had been worked on a little bit. One of the things that had been done is here there was a little bit of weld added, and I think that's a good idea because this is really only spot welded. That's the most visible weld there. I'll put a bead along the inside. I don't want to do it on the outside because I don't want to mess with that bearing surface there. Need to do a bit of a repair here, so I think I'm going to build that up with weld and then grind it back down as best I can to that basic shape. One reason why I think this is important, other than the obvious thing of this just wearing all the way through and breaking off, the clips, that's where their tension comes from. And these things are supposed to be a real bear to get on and off, but these were pretty simple. Sure. As you'll recall, this thing just came right off. There'd be more tension in that clip if this was a little thicker. We're probably missing about 1/8 of an inch here. I'm gonna build the weld up and then we'll scoop this back out, see if we can breathe some life back into this thing. And then I kinda need to get on with it. This is gonna be a late night, but I've got somewhere to be tomorrow. seems much more solid than it was before. I think this is the thing to do here. Well, I'm in it now, so whatever, but I think we're in good shape. I have seen some suggestions to safety wire this. I guess I'd just put a hole here. Somehow it's gotten really late and I haven't installed the first thing, so we should probably get busy. Let's go ahead and get this throwout bearing installed and then we'll go from there. I'm gonna put this seal that I did not destroy on the inside, because this is the part that I need to protect the most, and then the one that I've messed up, I'll just put that on the outside. The grease that I'm using is called Red and Tacky. The idea is that it should stay in place a little better. And it's pretty sticky, so it makes sense. Okay, I think we got it. It really doesn't look all that bad. I'm not sure this safety wire is necessary, but why not? Those clips, they're the heavy duty clips, so they're real tight, but I think the biggest thing is that this arm is now as thick as it's supposed to be, so they're really hanging on tight to this throwout bearing. They're gonna hold and be just fine. I just kind of wanted to try the safety wire thing, so there it is. While we're down here, let's do 5 million other things. Gonna do this, gonna do the seals. This seal is in bad shape. It seems like it could go well, or maybe not so well. Let's see what happens. That's ugly. Guess that's probably for the accelerator. Well, came out easy. Let's make sure all that stuff is clean and straight, and then maybe we'll try to put the new one in. So as I understand it, the bent side goes down, put a little pressure on the firewall pin. So bad. about as easy it's gonna get to do the valve, so let's take a look at them. The intake was closing on number 3, so I'm just gonna go to top dead center here. And that'll be the firing position for number 3. I'll just pick up from there. 1, 4, 3, 2. Woo, that's loose. Go to the other side and then we'll come back over here. That one's loose. So much easier to do this with it out of the car. That's a little tight for an exhaust. That's just right. It's been a long night, the sun's about to come up, and I'm kind of tired, but I've gotten enough stuff done on the list that we can put the engine back in, so I think that's what I'd like to do. Let's get this engine back in there, and by the time that happens, the sun will be up, and I think we might just go for a test drive. I'm ready for a nap, but let's do a test drive first. Alright, we'll try the clutch. I may have to tighten the wing nut, let's see. No. Hey, that's a good spot. I like that. No noise. Nice. This is nice. Yeah, let's go for a ride. So far, so good. No noise when shifting, it shifts fine. We really did a lot of work. That was an unexpected thing, having to rebuild the lever arm, throw out bearing shaft, cross bearing arm shaft thing. That bushing issue, that actually ate up a few hours messing with that. But that's how it goes. Run into little hang-ups, and it's your choice whether you figure them out at your own pace or you make them worse. I did a little bit of both. I'm gonna grab some breakfast, take a nap, and then we'll go for a real test drive. Stay tuned, this is gonna be pretty cool. It's several hours later. I've had a nap. I've gotten all cleaned up, ready to do a little bit more before we go on a little bit of a ride here. I want to go ahead and install the bumper. I don't really like driving around like that. Also want to take one more pass at my spares and tools. At some point I need to really formalize all that stuff, but right now I just keep chucking things into both of those boxes. And also, I think we might get a little bit of rain. I just so happen to have a set of new wipers. Gonna go ahead and install those. Okay, let's see what the deal is with these wiper blades. So it appears there's actually a long and a short side here. Wow, I guess that's how it should be changing wipers out. This is one of those things where we have found ways to overcomplicate the process. That was good. that'll check one more thing off the list, which is nice. One of the things that we like so much about driving these old cars is we like being the person who can do this. We know it's not that hard, it just takes determination. It's that will to try, but to the rest of the world, we're the ones who can do this, and that's kind of cool, driving around in something that you've prepared, that you keep alive, that needs you to survive. This work has made me a bit hungry. I wonder if they've got anything good to eat in here.